1 million players in a single day.
1 million in a single day, which is incredible. 1 million players in a single day, and the guy behind it, he's only 18 years old and already running a UEFN empire.
The Fracture map released, and Donald Mustard followed us on Twitter. I was like, what?
That's so cool. From getting noticed by Donald Mustard to Epic showcasing their work on the GDC stage, Genesis Studios is rewriting what's possible in Fortnite Creative.
It really kind of damaged us in a way. We were talking about shutting down, I'm going to be honest.
But this isn't just the highlight reel. Dylan opens up about nearly shutting down the studio, crazy deadlines, secret collabs with big influencers, and the game-breaking bugs that almost tanked their biggest game. This episode is packed. How Genesis pulled millions of plays, how live events turned into a business, and why the community says their shows are better than Epic's own. And stick around, because Dylan drops what's next for Genesis Studios, including their boldest Fortnite event ever, and a brand new game outside of Fortnite that no one's seen coming. Let's go.
This is Creative Juice.
All right, I think we're started. How's it going, Dylan, or also SirRifty, as probably most people, that's what I know you as in the community, man. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Dude, I can't complain. I'm super excited to have you. You and your team have been crushing it lately. I'm so excited to get in this. Thanks for joining.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. So yeah, let's just get started. So, you've had like such a fast rise in this space, and I think people would love to hear the origin story behind it. So you're only 18. I think you said you're almost 19, and you're already running a UEFN studio. Like, take us back, right? So like, how did you go from a teenager experimenting in creative to the CEO of Genesis Studios?
So I obviously started back. I mainly, my creative spark, I guess you could say, started back with Roblox Studio.
Okay.
Yeah, I started with Roblox, but obviously that didn't take off too well. So obviously, Fortnite. I know you worked on Roblox. I know you. Was it you? It was. Yeah.
I
You did
worked for a
Roblox.
company that was one of the top Roblox companies in the world. Yes.
Yes, and I know Fortnite came out, and I remember when Chapter 1 Season 7 came out, and Creative dropped. And obviously, this is when it was Battle Pass only, so I begged my mother to get me the Battle Pass.
Yeah.
And obviously, reluctantly, she did. And I loved Creative from since day one. It was obviously very bare bones compared to now.
Oh, yeah.
And it was very bare bones. It was like, 8 devices? And
Yes.
obviously, it was very limited. Obviously, as time went on, things got more advanced. And I mainly started my creative career, I say, in 2020 in lockdown.
Okay.
Yes, it was I was 13 going on 14. It was actually today, 5 years ago. I remember, as you're recording this. Yes, August 27th, 2020. I remember. And I know it was just me at the time, obviously.
Yeah.
I worked on a mini BR map. I started out in the mini BR scene, and and then I formed my first team. Wasn't really official, obviously, as now. Formed my first team. It was more of like a friend group in, I want to say, January 2021. It was just for the mini BR, but then I guess you could say I formed my actual like multi-map team first in summer 2021, and it was awesome. But Genesis came about in late 2022, and it was a really, really good idea of ours. At first, it only started out. Do you remember those Discord servers where you promote your maps? You get a little Discord channel. Yeah, it only started out as that. But then we kind of like refurbished it in March 23 and became a fully fledged map making team. And we had a map which we worked on in Legacy or 1.0, and it released 2 weeks after UEFN came out because we finished the map in UEFN. And obviously UEFN was very buggy on release.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of trouble. And yeah, no, that map actually garnered about 200,000 plays.
That's
within
amazing.
like a month. Yeah, it was awesome. And the payout was massive for us at the time anyway.
Oh yeah.
It kind of like, we started out as I guess you could say, a horror team. We usually make horror maps. We still kind of do today, but we've kind of, I guess you say, back to the mini BR I was making. So the first, we made 2 live events from that mini BR. One of them is Convergence, and the other is Doomsday. Doomsday is a prequel. It's a remake of an event we made back in 1.0 days, and it's can't remember how much plays it got at the time, but it got a lot of plays for the time. At least it was 90,000. And we didn't. The idea to remake live events didn't come up till later. But
okay. We're definitely gonna get into that because you have been able to like amass lots of plays off of live events. So I can't wait to talk about that in here.
Exactly. But yeah, no, fast forward to today, we've been really like stuck in, I guess we're more of a business now than we were like 2 years ago. We take it a lot more seriously. And because of it, I'm actually studying game development at college right now. I'm just about to start my 2nd year.
Amazing.
So yeah.
Dude, your peers are going to be jealous. Find out. You're like, I'm already pulling CCs and money from this, man. That's crazy. No,
it's awesome.
Very cool. Very cool. I definitely want to we'll definitely dive more into some of those projects and stuff and get your take. But so let's talk about like building your studio. Okay.
Yeah.
So like from there, it seems that things really started to scale, right? So let's talk about like when that shift happened. So what was the turning point where Genesis Studios went from being just you and a few maps, like you were kind of saying, to becoming like a full creative team with collaborators, voice actors, massive projects?
So it wasn't just me the whole time. I will say it was a bunch of other people, but I guess that shift really made itself known when we released the Fracture map. That's when things began really like being like, okay, maybe this is something bigger and we're just now seeing it. And I remember when the Fracture map released and Donald Mustard followed us on Twitter. I was like, what?
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. And we worked on our first collaboration the following month. It was Crazy Red versus Blue by Boyka.
Yep.
Yeah, we worked on a live event for Skydance for that, and it was pretty cool for what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there was a massive shift, and we began having to discuss all this like big, like legal stuff and all that, and it was just mental. It still is all new to me in my opinion, but still learning, still adapting. But yeah, no.
Yeah, you never stop. You'll never stop. But yeah, it's so interesting from, going from like a little bit of success to working with big creators to having your game just like really take off. And don't worry, like I will have like videos of your experiences up for the podcast so people who are watching, not listening, can see. But no, it's pretty crazy. So is there anything more you wanted to add on to that?
We did a lot more when that shift happened. We actually did something. We worked with CypherPK on something.
Oh, okay. Nice.
It never ended up releasing, but I could tell you it was I can't give full details, obviously. I'm under NDA. But what I can tell you is it was for his old reload map. And it was pretty cool. But I obviously can't give too much away on that. Yeah, no. That was a big feat for us, like having one of the face of Fortnite YouTube, if even, to be like contacting us to do something for him, and it was awesome.
Yeah, getting recognized for sure, man, for sure. I mean, the meta still is those big live events. I feel there's definitely a lot. We've seen them pop up here and there, and so you guys, I think, are big leaders in that space in UEFN.
Exactly. Like I'd say more the last few months, we want to kind of like pivot away from live events. Like it's amazing to like do them, trust me, but they're very costly, very expensive, and just very time consuming in general. And at the end of the day, we're all college students, so we don't really have too much time at the moment to do it. And we basically in our minds, right, we put this in our minds, and it's not a good mindset, is that we think that if we did a non-event map, it would flop miserably. And that was a horrible mindset. And
about to say, we'll get into why
that was a bad mindset.
Yeah, I'm glad you got out of it.
We got out of it. Do you know what took us out of it? The Squid Game map. We only made that Squid Game map in about a month and a half. And it was about, there was small budget on it, and it was awesome. And we didn't think it would do well. I'm not going to lie. I'll be completely transparent. I thought it would not do too well. I thought it would do, okay. I thought maybe a couple 100 players the first week, and then it would drop off because like there's other maps like Ink Game and Octo Game, and it did way better than I'd ever expected.
It's crushing. We're gonna definitely dive more into that map. I want to definitely talk more about it.
Yeah, no, I definitely can delve into that when
Awesome.
But yeah, no, that's where we are today, and we're still thriving, hopefully.
Hopefully you're thriving, man. You guys are crushing it, man. No, very, very cool, man. It's kind of, I love to like talk about behind the scenes a little bit of studios. Cause I mean, everyone has like their different ideas of what, it takes. Cause there's a large studios that are all buttoned up, right? That try to come in this space, and some are successful, and then there's also the solo devs that, make cool experiences. But then there's like the friend groups or the people that have been working with each other for a while that kind of make a group. And then, for whatever reason, it clicks and you guys make something awesome. And I think, I remember seeing your live events and, I would have never in a million years, because your experiences are full on live events. That's all they are. You go on the map and it's a cinematic experience, right? Yeah. There's a little things to do, but really it's just you're watching. And you guys were hitting insane CCUs.
Exactly. For live event maps, it was massive. Like, we have a specific like design philosophy in all of it. Like, we're a team of specifically quality. We don't like to do ideas that have been done before. We try, when there is an idea that's been done before, we try to make it our own. And it's like we try add on to it. We try remove things from it that may not work. Like we try to differentiate it from other existing maps, just so we're not like copying straight up maps. But yeah, no. We try to make the best quality content as possible. Like, we spend as long as possible. Like, for example, I'll tell you this. The Big Bang event that we were working on, we announced that back in March at the end of our event. And it was actually slated to come out August. It was actually slated, I think we had an internal release date of the 12th or something. And obviously it didn't hit that date because we had some UEFN issues, which data layers broke in June. And now it won't come out potentially till the holiday season. So,
man, bummer. Yeah. But hey, you probably also got some other things to focus on right now.
We have a few other maps that are coming out between now and then. So we've got those to release and also updates to Squid Game. So yeah, no, we've got a lot in the pipeline.
Amazing. Hey, I want to dive a little more on some of the events still before we move on to like Squid Games and stuff. So like,
yeah, of course.
What stands out about your work is probably like what I feel, I guess, is the feel of it. To be honest, like when it totally immerses you. It's not just like gameplay, like I mentioned. It's an experience. So like your projects just aren't fun mini games, right?
Yeah.
I feel like this story-driven cinematic experience. Yeah. Like, what philosophies do you and your team bring to those experiences and that map, those games?
Well, like I said, quality. We spend as much. We don't do deadlines in my team. Unless it's a collaborator like says, oh, we want this by September, like we'll follow their deadline. But like our own internal deadlines don't exist. We don't do deadlines. When it's done, it's done. But we obviously have a goal to meet, but that goal, if it's not met, it's not met. And we just want to make the best thing ever, and hopefully we have, and we currently are making the best thing ever with our next one, but we'll get into that soon. And we just want to make something that the players enjoy. We want to immerse the players into the experience itself, which we have. We've actually included the player in the cinematics with the animations and such. And we just want to make something that people enjoy, so we spend literally quite months making something very good. It takes, obviously, with all games, right, you may think this doesn't look good, but you have to add on to it, and then the result, you will love the result. So you have to just give it time and just run with it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting, because I always get like feature creep gets me, in my games and this and that. It's like, hey, we got to get this out here and let's get this done. So that would be really hard, but I understand it in the cinematic side or the live event side, right? Because there is so much that goes into every second of those of that experience. It's like you probably could never be done, really, right?
Exactly.
You're limited to the engine.
You'll always even when it comes out, you'll see movie directors say this, even when it comes out, you'll never have satisfaction with it. You'll always want to do something to change it up. But fortunately with games, you can change it up. With movies, you can't. So, do what you want, your imagination can only go so far, and it's just an amazing experience. Yeah.
Yeah. You're I don't know if to say sugarcoating, but yeah, you're I know there's probably a lot more that goes into this.
Yeah.
Into these things, but no, great answer. And let's now dive into Squid Games. Okay. Because
a little bit of that.
What you guys have been able to do right now is awesome, is amazing. So Genesis Squid Games exploded almost 500,000 players in a single day.
1 million players in a single day.
1 million in a single day, which is incredible. Why do you think it connected so well with the community, and how do you keep the hype alive? Like, you have your updates like Twist Weekends, things like that. I'd love to dive into that.
Yeah, so obviously we released Squid Game, like I said earlier, with the expectation it'll not do too well. Did very well. The Twist Weekends, fun fact, that was only thought up like the day after we released it. We didn't expect it to do well. Like, we were like, so we've already thought out a bunch of Twist Weekends to do, obviously first weekend being 50 players. So the way we keep the hype alive is we're going to constantly do updates and give like new games. There's loads of games you could do. We're also going to give our own original games. But yeah, no, we've like what we're like cosmetics and stuff. We're going to do that. We also give codes, twists on things like this Twist Weekends.
Yeah.
And just overall, like, try and make the quality of the map more fun and more engaging, just to keep people coming back to us. And yeah, no, I think the main difference, if I'll be honest, the reason why people keep coming back to us, because it literally says Squid Game in our title, maybe. But yeah, no, it's been an amazing week so far, I have to say. I did not expect this at all. It's sitting at 8.5 million plays, which is our highest map. Like, our previous highest, which sits at 1 million plays right now, is the Skyfire map. And it just kind of blew that out the water. It was crazy.
So, congrats. And yeah, I mean, if I guess if it's allowed to be called Squid Games, anyone could call it Squid Games as well. The other games could as well. What went into, like, walk me through maybe like the first few days. So like, you published the game, it went live, and it was just like, boom, like what was your reaction? Like, did you have anything break? Did you have to go into full bug fix mode, anything like that?
A lot of bugs. A lot of bugs. Our map, now obviously, basically we developed the map, and this was the only map we've ever made which we've had a deadline for, which the deadline was the release of when Squid Game maps were lifted, you can actually publish your maps.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That was the only deadline. It released a day after, but we had a lot of bugs in the first few days. Like, our messages were flooded with issues, but we fixed it to an extent where it's functionable. But now we did a survey and we're still fixing issues to this day. So yeah, no, we've been working our butts off trying to make sure this map is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
We've aside from the bugs, we've got a lot of positive reactions from the community. They love our map, and they've suggested good updates and such, and we've fallen through with some of them already. And we're just, they help us improve our map. They're part of the development team, in our opinion. So they help us.
You put out a survey already, and how long has this game been out?
When did they release? Was it we released it on the 15th of August?
Yeah, less than 2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks, they're already putting surveys out, which I know very few teams or people who have even done that within months or years of their game. So that's incredible that you have that foresight.
Yeah.
And you have built a community, which is very smart as well around your game. So you can get that feedback because it's just free updates. It's free. It's free bug testers, right? It's free play testers. You're doing it right. You're doing it right.
Yeah, no. We're not done. We gathered all the results. We gathered all the results, and we've made we've averaged them all out, seen what people want, what they don't want, what fits best, what doesn't. And we're now just going through that list and just making improvements. Not everything's going to be done overnight. So we're going to spend months probably doing this and just making sure it's good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
with updates too, it's tough too. You don't want to do like
Yeah.
you obviously want to fix any game breaking things, but like you don't want to be too crazy because then you don't know what works and what doesn't, or what was beneficial or not sometimes, depending what it is. So no, that's smart, man. No, congrats. I know we've been talked a little bit about you coming on in the past, especially I want to talk about your live event stuff. And then, you guys just had this game pop. I was like, you got to come on. We got to talk about this. So no, thanks for coming on, sharing numbers and being candid about it.
Yeah.
I think it's really fun. Are you like a fan of Squid Games, or any like the show or of the other games?
This is quite funny. This is actually quite funny. I've never watched the show.
I haven't either. So you're good.
So the project lead behind it has, and that's who made it. The team has watched the show, so they know what they're up to. I've only seen, I've obviously done a bit of research, but I haven't actually watched the show. So I know of some things, not everything. Yeah. So I might watch the show after seeing how popped off this game is. So, because if this many people like the game, they've obviously watched the show. So I might as well have a look at it as well. I want to see what the hype's about.
Yeah, like for me, I've seen like little parts and pieces of the show. I've played all the games. I understand the hype and what's going on. And I'm actually looking forward to. I think they're creating an English, like an
American show. I think
an American version of it, which I'll watch. Sometimes the dubbing for whatever reason, if maybe it's just me and my ADHD or whatever, like sometimes it's harder for me to like get like engaged, engulfed into the show sometimes with that. But I'm super excited. I'm super excited for the buzz around that when that comes out as well. I'm sure your game will see some more, hopefully more love. Keep it going. Yeah. What you have done. I mean, there's been Squid Games for years in our ecosystem that have been popular for a long time, and even maps that are very popular, and they kind of transferred their game over for, they usually do it for a little bit of time to the Squid Games IP. And use some of the features. So like they still have, it's hard to, you see sometimes like the most popular maps might be, for instance, I think Murder Mystery is doing it right now, right? But they always have high CCUs, but now they're showing up as the top in Squid Games collection. But like you've been able to be higher CCUs in some of those maps, even like you're number one sometimes map in Squid Games, and I mean top higher rated in all of Fortnite with your map. So insane, hats off. I want to kind of like shift to like a bigger pictures for a moment. So there's been a lot of debate in the community recently whether like UEFN is delivering enough original hits to compared to Roblox, right? So like, do you think Fortnite creators are stepping up? And you've worked with Roblox too as well a little bit, right? So like, how does Genesis Studio prove what's possible? I guess this is a hard question.
Well, so first of all, in comparison to say like 2 years ago, I won't lie, someone who's observed the ecosystem since obviously its inception, there's been a massive shift in the top maps. Like I'd say about a year ago, you would have seen the top maps, like 6 red versus blue maps, 3 box white maps, zone wars maps. You don't see zone wars maps anymore. And that's shifted. I'd say I barely see one red versus blue map crack 10k CCU. So I'd say the originality in the ecosystem is growing, definitely. There's been a lot more innovation than 2 years ago. So things are looking bright, I think, in my opinion.
Great observation. I agree.
Yeah, and I'd say on Roblox, now this is purely my opinion, I haven't personally touched Roblox in a bit, but I've seen its charts, and there's a lot of the same thing going for it. Like you'll see, like I think the top game right now is Grow a Garden, I think. And you'll see, like, I guess you could say, I'm not going to use the word copies, I'm going to use the word inspirations. So you'll see like Steal a Brain Rot, like Grow like stupid stuff anyway. But its originality, I think, in my opinion, has kind of dropped off Roblox's, and it's because basically developers, they'll see a game pop off and then they'll say, oh, maybe I can earn a bit of money from that idea. So they take that idea, try, make it their own version. They'll like get rid, let's say Grow a Garden. They'll take the garden aspect out of it and change it to, I don't know, Skibbity Toilet or something.
Yeah. They intertwine the IP.
Yeah. and then they'll make their own version, and then it pop off. It won't do as well as the main thing, but it'll do well enough for them to be able to make some sort of income.
Yeah.
So it's amazing what the things can do. So yeah, no, I think personally the ecosystem has gotten better, in my opinion. I think the economy in Fortnite, there are some unoriginal maps, and you're not going to see those,
Yeah.
but they'll never go away, and
Yeah.
that's fine. But there's been a lot more innovation in the ecosystem as of late, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a fair read. We definitely have been seeing a little lower numbers in the most popular maps.
Yeah.
We've seen some newer games rise, or even some newer games that are still holding solid CCUs, 500,000 CCUs. I mean, so that is something. And honestly, I think a lot of this buzz right now, just Roblox, because of Grow a Garden and Steal a Brain Rot, they're seeing these just massive spikes on Roblox from those games. They're bringing in audiences, and they're doing a very good job of that. And it's growing the CCUs, or it's bringing a lot of people in at the same time, just like any event would do on Fortnite, right? Show those big numbers. And then we've had some, I don't know, record lower CCU averages on Fortnite in the last few months. So I see everyone's just kind of comparing those. And yeah, I think, hats off. I've made posts about this already. Like, hats off to Roblox. They're crushing it. A lot of that stuff, we've been able to reimagine over on UEFN, and also see some of those things be successful. So, I'm pro UGC, whatever it is. I'm happy for Roblox. I'm also happy for UEFN, and I think for sure it was still very early. I think we're going to see some really good changes in the future. Yeah. And UEFN as well, and see games. It's so hard, right? Because what's funny is, like, I like the competitive games. I still love Fortnite. I love playing the competitive. I like playing all the games. So those games, still is what I like to play. And so, like, again, it's your audience. It's what the player you're building for the players, and Fortnite's attached to VR still. So the ecosystems are just so different. So trying to compare them, hate comparing them most of the time because of their differences, but it's a fun topic.
I don't think it's fair to compare the two ecosystems. Because, put it this way, Roblox has been around for almost 20 years.
Yep.
That's a massive head start. Fortnite's only been around for about 8 years. Yeah. And even then, Fortnite's ecosystem is only a new thing.
Yeah, and UEFN's only over 2 some years. Exactly.
So, like, UEFN, if Fortnite is still Fortnite in 10 years, I'd say UEFN could be at the leagues of Roblox, say, in about 6-7 years from now. And I think it could, I heard things about, I think Tim Sweeney or someone said it, that they're going to merge UE and UEFN. Yeah, I heard that. So if that's the case, then I'd say Fortnite is going to just go straight up. So
agree. I think UE6, and I don't know if it's like official or I don't know. We all heard rumblings, but maybe UE6 will be with Verse, and then that will be the engine that ties into Fortnite and everything else. Yeah. I don't know if they've I don't know if that's ever been said, or I don't know where. You're right. There's something I read something about that somewhere.
I seen that. I don't think it was from Tim Sweeney, but it was somewhere. I remember seeing it.
Yeah, I think we're all just kind of like putting the pieces together of what we did. Yeah. Because we know Verse is gonna potentially be go to Unreal Engine. So we're just kind of like putting the pieces together, but who knows really? But again, it's super early, and Fortnite still is like, even the CCUs it's showing is still insane for a 8-year-old game. And we know there's like how Fortnite can generate hype and bring people back into the game is is also next level. So yeah, I'm excited for the future. So let's I just wanted to ask that question just because it's kind of hot in our community right now. It's a good topic, but like, I want to get back to kind of what you've been doing at Genesis Studios, what you guys are doing. And so let's talk about, like, speaking of big moments, right? You're tackling recreating Fortnite's iconic live events, which is no small feat. Like you said, I mean, it takes months, years, right, for some of these things for you to create.
Exactly. It takes a long time.
It's insane. And you've reimagined some of Fortnite's most iconic events like Fracture and Skyfire, right?
Yes.
So Why recreate them, and what were like the biggest like technical or creative challenges in making them work inside UEFN?
So, first of all, I should say Skyfire isn't a recreation. It actually picks up right where it left off.
My bad, my bad. Yeah,
No,
I'm
you're
glad
fine.
you cleared that up. Yep.
Yeah, it's the original Skyfire still happened in our storyline, and then I think it was like 7 or 10 minutes after, picks up where it left off, and it ties into
Okay.
our others. Ways. Obviously, there were big feats. Fracture was an idea, right? We planned to do it way earlier than we did it, and we ultimately decided to just leave the idea alone because obviously it was very ambitious, but also risky because you're talking about Fracture, which is not known as a good event in Fortnite's history.
Mm,
So it'd be a massive risk for us. But
yeah.
also, the reason I'm going to be completely transparent here. The reason we
Yeah.
went back to it is, remember when Epic did those payout changes last year that were not well received, let's be real,
Yeah.
and like there was significantly lower payouts. Well, to be honest, we were really like, it really kind of damaged us in a way.
Mm,
We were talking about shutting down, I'm going to be honest.
wow.
And yeah, we were talking about moving elsewhere, to Roblox or something. Can't remember, but we decided to do Fracture just as a risk, big risk. We didn't think might do fine, might do just as fine as our other events. And we worked on it for about 2 months, released it, and it did way better than we thought it would. But so I'm really grateful for that, thank God. But
Well,
they ended up reversing the changes they made, so like midway through development. So we just went with it. It was fine.
yeah, I think they were putting it more on like bringing people off platform or something like that. I think was
Yeah.
that, if I
We're,
recall. Yeah,
yeah.
find the
But
engagement more to that. Yeah.
yeah, but we released it, was really good. But if I'll tell you, for both of these events, the hardest thing to do was animation. It was
Oh, I'm
the animation was really like difficult. Our first event, Convergence, fun fact, that was entirely hand animated. There was no mocap involved in that.
oh my
But
gosh, that had to take forever.
it did it. The event took us about 7 months to make or something.
Woo.
So,
And these experiences are like around how long?
oh, so Convergence is 17 minutes.
Okay.
Fracture
7 months.
is, yeah, no, yes. Doomsday is our shortest event. We done a mocap suit and we did that entire event in about 4 weeks. That is our
Oh,
shortest timeline
wow.
ever. Yeah.
Wow.
That released July last year, and then Fracture came along. Sorry, we should be focusing on those two events. Fracture came along, and we started working on it in September, and it released mid-November. They, the animation for that took us 2 months-ish. Obviously, the VFX and stuff
Yeah.
wasn't included in that. So yeah, no, been we've been hard at work there, and also Skyfire. We started working that start of January, and it released mid-March. So
Mm,
around the same timeline. So that's the average, guess, time frame for us. And for Big Bang, we started working on it at the end of May, I think, and then obviously we had to pause due to issues in June, and we haven't gotten back to it since. No, sorry, we got back to it in sometime in July, and we're still working on it today. But yeah, no, the animation was the hardest because, put it this way, you have to account for multiple character rigs. Like you have the male, the female, and then the big characters. So
mhm.
unfortunately, we were only able to account for male character rigs because it was the only thing we had access to. So
Okay.
yeah, because we use we have to use the Fortnite character rigs for the players. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, the budget wasn't an issue for us because
Okay.
we already had a bit of money left, and from Fracture for Skyfire, we put it into that, and we also got revenue from the other Christmas things we did, and we put it into Skyfire, and it helped us so much. The music,
Amazing.
I have to shout out John and Benn, amazing musicians, John and Ben Laurie, and it was an amazing experience to work with all these people on this event because it did well in the end. It was the only event that got 1 million plays by a long shot. Yeah, no, we've been working on our finale since then, which is 2 parts now.
Amazing what you guys have been able to do.
Yeah.
And like the community has even called your events better than some of Epic's own, right? So like how does it feel seeing that kind of feedback, and had any like direct recognition or support from Epic Games along the way?
So November last year, actually, they contacted us and wanted to have a Zoom meeting with us about it.
Let's go. That's a good sign.
Yeah, no, they love it. They loved it. And the recognition we got from Epic and our communities, the community loved it, right? We obviously, because we're catering to existing lore fans and the existing storyline, we have to make sure we're not screwing anything up. And because, people could be very aggressive in the communities. So you have to look out for that. And yeah, no, it was wild. But back to Epic. So they actually used our event as an example at GDC and Unreal Fest.
Let's
And
go.
yeah, and like compared it to their own events themselves.
That's
So
huge, dude. That's
that
crazy.
and it was wild. Like, I think the craziest thing that's happened to us this year in a way, I don't mean to be like flexy or whatever. I just wanted to
Oh,
tell
no,
you this.
no. It's,
Honestly, I'm proud of this.
dude, you worked hard to get here.
Is when about 40 minutes before Skyfire's premiere, yeah, the Game Awards account followed us, and
Let's
it's
go.
actually
Let's go.
we were doing our watch party.
Shout out Jeff Cooley. Let's go.
Exactly, love that guy.
Yep,
Uh,
good dude.
and we were doing our watch party, and it was being recorded, and I screamed. So it was in a Discord stage. You know what a Discord stage is? And so like there's me and three other people in there, and then there's about 30 people in the audience who heard me scream. Would have never done that. I am so embarrassed. But now it's immortalized in a YouTube compilation, so yikes.
No. It's so cool.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Dude, doing game development is awesome because you get to meet all these cool people and like get to, make contacts and even friends along the way. And it's just like it's an experience I am so grateful for. And it's been amazing, to be honest. It's helped me. I'll admit I actually went through a massive depressive phase last year, and it helped. Like, it was a good distraction, and it was kind of like therapeutic to me, and it helped me get out of that phase, and it's just amazing. I love it.
Thanks for sharing that, being candid. Yeah, man, it's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild. I don't think I've ever said this either. I kind of was going through something similar like that, and I think creative helped me as well.
Yeah.
It gave me purpose. I felt like I was scratching an itch, like that creative itch, and then just having, we've all started at zero.
Exactly.
Just, having your first play, having your first 10 plays, having your first 100 play, like all that is just like insane feelings. And then million and then millions, right? Like it's weird. Like it doesn't go away, but it kind of, the bar always like increases.
Yes, there's always something that you can outdo with every achievement you get, and I love it. You just, it's the communities. When they praise your map, when they praise your team's work, when they do this, that, you almost feel proud. You almost feel like a proud father.
Yeah.
Your team, and they should feel proud of themselves as well, because they're very talented people who made these amazing experiences for the world to enjoy. And yeah, it's awesome.
For sure. You got a great head on your shoulders. And honestly, I mean, you've been doing this for years, right? You've been doing this for a long time, almost, over 5 years. You've been grinding, learning the engine, creating different things, seeing what works, doing something that no one was doing at all, really, at a high level, and taking massive risks with huge development times.
Yeah.
And it paid off, right? And it got your team on the map. It showed people what you could do. It showed there is other sides of our community and other genres. And it also helped, because when you made your live events, also big streamers, influencers are kind of like hopping on that, making content, which again, that's part of this business, is thinking like that. And if you can get them organically to promote your map, that's the dream. So, I don't take anything away from you, man. Like you earned this spot,
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So let's get back to business a little bit, okay? Just a little bit. So with engagement, payouts, turning Fortnite Creative into a business, how do you balance making what you're passionate about with building sustainable, profitable projects? This is very hard.
Ooh, this is a hard question.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we have a lot of ideas to, want to do. Unfortunately, not all ideas come to fruition. That is with everything. And we try to do what works, right? we try to do what works, which is the events. And there's a lot that goes into the events. Like, I'm pretty sure Big Bang Script has 6 different versions. And yeah, we decided to just take little bits from all 6 versions and make one big script. And yeah, no, it's hard to, like, obviously passion and then profits, but in our eyes, the profits is just a bonus, and we just focus on the passion because at the end of the day, we're still young and we're just students living in our parents' houses still and stuff, and just enjoying while we still can.
You
So
have a higher risk tolerance. You can take those swings. Yeah.
yes, so we just we focus on the passion and make sure that obviously while we still do care about profits, we have to make sure we do get enough profits to be able to survive at this
Oh
point.
yeah.
And obviously the economy's tough, so we have to, inflation has been a pain.
Tell me
But
about
yeah,
it.
we have to balance our profits with our passion, and we have to, sorry, this is very hard to word, and we have to make sure that the passion doesn't outdo the profits. Like, what I mean by that is, like, we don't want to go full up. Okay, I'm only doing this for the money. We're only, I don't care how good quality this map is, just so long as it makes me like hundreds of millions of dollars. We want to make sure that isn't the mindset. The mindset is, oh, I want to come to work and I want to do this because I enjoy it. Because, like, I'm pretty sure Giggler told me this the other day. But if you enjoy what you do, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
a very famous quote.
It is
Yes.
everything. So,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
no, sorry, what were you saying?
No, it's so true. It really is, and I think there's a lot of games that are still popular and going, and they didn't start from, oh, we're gonna make money.
Mm,
I mean, when I started, you couldn't even make money.
I know.
But like you as well, right? So like it was all about like making the coolest experience, the funnest experience, and if you got plays, awesome. This is great. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
But players, they know that. I feel like it's like subliminal, especially with everything they has throwing in their face to play, and some of the clickbait things they start losing trust. So it shines and it shows when creators have an actual passion for the game. And I think something that that you're doing very well is storytelling.
Yes.
Which is the key for most anything. Like social media, right? It's huge as storytelling, and even games, even games, mini game, any games that you don't think of.
Yeah.
That don't have a story. Like, I don't know if this is the best example, but like Goated. You know what I mean? Like it's crushing. It doesn't need really a story. But what if there could be somebody that is interested in a little storyline, especially if there's little mini events like Fortnite really was doing it early on with their storyline, right? That
Cupid stuff.
People love. So you can, even if your game, you don't think of it, even if it's something small or funny or silly or dumb, right? Storytelling is still, I think, a huge part of any game. Really is. And it's roguelike, any of those type of games. Think about it. Like that can really help you out and bring players in and feel
no, it's a way to keep people invested. Like, so we're actually continuing our event story we're currently working on a roguelike map.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, it's called Operation Infiltration. It takes place during the Collision live event.
Oh, amazing.
On the ground when they're fighting the IO, not in the mech. The mech's happening while they're doing it. It's another cool way to keep our players invested and interested in our story. Just, without doing live events, without like spending all of this money, all this unnecessary money, and like all this time, when we could just do like a roguelike map or like, minigame map or mini BR map or whatever, just to keep people interested. So, you have to take that into account. But also we look for feedback. Like I think every other month, every time we release a map, we'll do a survey about 2 weeks after release to see what the players like, what they don't like, what they'd suggest to be added and stuff, just to make sure that we're keeping them around and that they're interested in what we're doing. So
smart. No, well, great answer. Thanks again for sharing that. And it wasn't an easy question.
It wasn't. The start of it, I was proper like, oh, what do I say? Because I genuinely barely understood it, but got there in the end.
All good. Yeah, it's it's really hard. It's really hard, and especially like you said, you're a passionate and player first studio.
Yeah.
So it's trying to find that right balance, right? Enough to keep the payroll, but also be able to create top experiences that you're happy with at the end of the
Mm.
day. So no, it's hard. So like, let's just talk about some like challenges and lessons learned on top of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, of
So
course.
like not everything is smooth sailing, right?
Mm.
I'd love to hear about like the hurdles that kind of shaped your journey.
Right.
So like what's a big lesson you learned from a failure or a tough moment in building Genesis Studios, whether it's like policies or technical issues or something else?
So the biggest thing, I think, well, I wouldn't say the biggest thing. I'll start with, first of all, Convergence. Yes. We premiered that event and there was a lot of issues with it. We premiered it and then like there was issues like with teleporting and stuff like that. So like it failed miserably, kind of, and we had to scramble to fix. But we learned our lesson there because like it was actually a few community people who helped us fix the event. But like that helped us with the forthcoming events and we learned our lesson from that. But
Yeah.
also we also learned like there was a lot of lessons learned from like when we started proper getting into serious business. Like we were obviously not every like you have to take no as an answer. Like if let's say for example, right, you reach out and you want to pitch a project. We tried doing something. I won't give details, but we tried doing something. We reached out to Universal actually, pitched something to them, but you feel very bummed and let down and you feel like a failure when someone says no, but you have to realize that's just life. That's just this industry. You have to take no as an answer and go forward and go higher. Yeah. That was one thing that we definitely learned. And it was, albeit a harsh lesson, but it's something that we had to learn if we were going to take this on full swing. So, but yeah.
No, that is it's a hard lesson for sure, especially if you get no's a lot.
Yeah.
Right. Consistent and it's like, am I you're always second guessing yourself. Am I in the right place at the right time? Am I doing the right thing?
Yeah.
But you are obviously,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And those, no's will lead to a yes. If
Exactly.
you're consistently improving and getting better and understanding, maybe why there was a no. And sometimes, especially when working with brands like that, you definitely can't take any of that stuff to heart. There's so many different factors that go into that from their business side to your business side. It's not easy.
Exactly.
So, and generally you'll get to a point where they'll come to you.
Exactly.
And you might be there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, because there's a lot of factors. Like maybe we weren't the only people who reached out to them to pitch, or like maybe they're doing something else. I'm pretty sure they were doing something, the brand on Roblox or something. That's why they said no.
Yeah.
Obviously that was a bummer, but you have to, move on,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You learn something as well.
Exactly. Yeah. No, we just had to move on. And, I think it was actually, we shortly after greenlit this Squid Game project because they actually announced Squid Game at UEFS. So you never know. Maybe it was a blessing in disguise.
See?
Yeah.
That's such a cool story, man. And that no maybe led to this. Or,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's crazy.
It was awesome.
Amazing. And then, now Netflix might be hitting you up.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Hit them up, Netflix.
Yeah. Stranger Things map.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that
That'd be
IP
awesome.
would go nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just perfect time right now. So before we get in kind of to the last question, I wanted to give you space to shine a light on your team. So before we wrap up with future plans, I'd love to give you the space to shout out your team and any upcoming Genesis Studio projects or announcements that you're excited about.
So I just want to give a big shout out to my good friend Linkstop, or Ivan. He was the guy who actually animated the first 3 events by himself. And I have to give all hats off to him. He did an amazing job and he deserves all the success in the world. He also led this Squid Game project to success as well, alongside me and some others.
Wow.
I also want to shout out my good friends, Damien and Gigala, who have stood by my side to help me lead this studio. Obviously, Giggle has been a great guy in the legal side of stuff because he's very open-minded in that sense. I really, wouldn't have done that without him. So I have to give all thanks to him and Damien as well. There's a lot of other people I could thank, but unfortunately there wouldn't be enough time to name all of them.
Yeah.
But as for upcoming projects, we've been working on a few things. We've been working on our own little Blitz map, which is called Touchdown QuickTime, which actually it will tie into a story. I can't really give specifics now, but
Okay.
we're actually working on it at the moment. And we're doing Squid Game now, so go play that if you haven't already.
Yeah.
And what else are we doing? We're doing Big Bang. That's kind of the culmination for our year, which
Okay,
is
I'm gonna ask the last question about Big Bang.
yeah. I'll give more details in that question then.
Okay.
We're also working on a non-Fortnite project, actually. It's called Valiant's Bits of Time. It's a platformer game, story platformer game that's made in the Godot engine, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, no, it's not going to come out for a long time, probably like a year plus. Yeah, no, we've been working hard at work on all these projects and some that I cannot talk about. So yeah.
You're in school and have all these projects that hit game right now. You're crazy, man. I don't know where you're finding all your time.
Dude, I don't know where I'm finding my time either. I really I'm starting college in like 2 weeks again, and I think
Oof.
I might need to step back a tiny bit because last year I made the grave mistake of not stepping back.
Mhm.
Fortunately, though, the results were amazing, but it stressed me out beyond oblivion. So I'm not making that mistake again. So yeah.
I can hear my mom say right now, like, don't quit college.
Uh,
Whatever you decide, I think is the right move.
yeah, no. I'm gonna stay for now and then take a gap year next year and then figure things out from there.
Yeah. Which is common. Look, you have something to fall back on, which is amazing, which,
Yeah,
most people don't when they're going to college. They're just,
yeah,
going into debt and then working a job that has nothing to do with their degree.
yeah. Like
It's not funny, really. Just
no,
laugh
not
at
really.
it. All you can do is laugh
Yeah,
because it's sad.
nervous.
Yeah.
Like, you could do law, and unfortunately, that may not hand out well. But
Yeah.
look, you gotta wish the best for everybody, really. So
For
yeah,
sure. And Giggly, I know Giggly, he's been a huge member in the Immature gamer community.
yeah, I know.
And
Say what
he is
jam.
just one of the nicest guys. And he does, like, I didn't even ask, but he'll like take my creator showcase streams where I
Yeah,
showcase creators maps, and he'll like cut them up and post them for
yeah,
like with just on his own. And it's on Saturday, and he's like, dude, I'm gonna be a little late. I'm like, bro, don't worry. What you're doing is awesome, but thank you. But like, it doesn't have it. Like, don't worry, man. And it's been a huge help for our community, and allows me to go share even more from my socials. So he's been
yeah,
super awesome and helpful
yeah.
for me as well. So I'm glad that you shouted him out.
Yeah, no, we'd be at a meeting, and he'd be like, "Oh, I have to go into Immature Gamer's stream in about 2 hours, so I won't be at this other session or meeting or whatever." So he'd be like, "Oh,
Hey. Oh, dang, gig. Well, shout out your socials as well, and I'll put all those in the
yeah,
description.
yeah." No, my socials are at SirRifty on Twitter. That's the only thing I'm on. You can also follow my team's account if you're gonna put it on Scream, which is at Team Genesis FNCR. And yeah, no,
How would they reach you? Say Netflix does want to talk to you. How would that? How could they get a hold of you?
they could contact us by our business email.
Awesome. I'll put a link too in the description. Awesome, man. This has been a fun episode, and you've been
Yeah,
sharing so much knowledge, and you guys have been crushing it. And you're just coming out of high school, man. This is insane what you've been able to build and do in this short amount of time. And man, thank you for coming on and sharing. Appreciate it. So this is the last question.
mm,
Close us out, and let's look ahead to the future. Okay. So
yeah,
Big Bang Unwarp is on the horizon.
mm-hmm,
You hinted at projects beyond Fortnite. So
yes.
where do you see Genesis Studios going next, both inside UEFN and beyond?
Well, I can tell you that unfortunately, Big Bang is most likely be our last event. So we're doing two-parter, but that's because of memory issues. It's not because of plot issues.
Hmm.
And beyond that, next year we haven't gotten our full slate planned for next year just yet. But beyond that, I could see us expanding further out of Fortnite. If things go well, but also staying in Fortnite, we have to see what Fortnite's going to be like in a year's time. Um, I have to take account for that. But yeah, no, I can see us going pretty far. A bit
Oh yeah.
self-centered, but
Oh yeah.
I can see us doing quite well. But yeah, no, our plans are big, and we have to just embrace it and just go forward and see what happens. Future's uncertain.
Yeah. No, it always is, but it's good that you're thinking about it and already thinking about pivots as well. Mark.
Yeah,
Smart. All right, Dylan, SirRifty, thank you so much for this episode. Is there any last things you want to say or anything?
I just want to thank you for inviting me onto this. I've watched your content for a few years now, and it's crazy.
Oh, man.
On your YouTube channel. But yeah, that's
Dude,
it.
thank you so much, man. And dude, I'm like you, man. I just love it. I love this space. I love making cool things. I love giving back to the community that's given me so much. So, and it's easy. And then I get to sit here and talk to other creators. Dude, that's my dream.
Yeah, I love it. I just love this community as well. You get to meet these good people. You get to, make friends and stuff. And it's just awesome. So yeah.
For sure. It's not, and I know some of the people you surround yourself with are good people. And yeah, they're, every community has their, bad apples, but there's also lots of good people. And it just depends on where you, what you're focusing on. And that goes just with content. Like even X, like, you know what I mean? You always see these like crazy headlines or whatever. And you'll just like, oh God, but you read them and they know that. And so now you get pushed it. And so now I'm getting pushed all this. So it's wherever you put your focus is generally what you're going to get out of it. And that's something to think about. And in business and your life, try to surround yourself with good people. That's what I live by as well. Because at the end of the day, I want to have fun. No matter, it's sometimes not fun. Business isn't fun sometimes, but it can be. It doesn't have to be not fun. So
it depends.
Yep. Yeah. It's rough, man. And especially you're going to school and juggling all these projects. It's a lot. It can be a lot. And sometimes at night you just want to go to bed, but you can't.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Be up until about 3 a.m. at points. It's rough.
Exactly.
So
exactly. But that grinding hustle, there's thousands, people out there trying to do what you're doing, trying to be where you're at. And so, truthfully, it does. People get lucky, but it does take consistent effort.
Yes.
And sometimes that means 3 a.m. or getting up at 4 a.m. for the updates, 3 a.m., whatever it is your time, you know what I mean? It's fun to shine a pretty picture on game development. And there is lots of good things, but there is some,
exactly.
It's a job. It can be a job.
Yes.
All right, man. We crushed it, dude. Great episode. Thank you so much, Dylan, again, for coming on. You guys keep at it. Keep that game going, and looking forward to those live events, man. You guys keep crushing it.
Yes, thank you. It's been a blast being on this, but yeah.
Yeah, agree. We'll have to, maybe we'll get you on again or something with Big Brain. We'll have to talk.
Yeah, no bother.
All right, later. That's a wrap on today's episode with Dylan, aka SirRifty. Huge thanks to him for being so open and giving us a look behind the curtain at Genesis Studios. Make sure you go back and check out his work and show him some love. Links in the description. If you enjoyed the episode, hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe on YouTube. If you're listening on your favorite podcast app, make sure to follow and leave us a positive review. It really helps more creators discover the show. I'll see you in a fortnight. That's 2 weeks. And as always, don't hate, create.